Joining us now to discuss American Majority CEO Ned Ryun. Ned, it is so great to have you with us this evening. Thanks for joining us. You know, Ned, Senator Warren is going after Mr. Pulte here. But to be fair, Mr. Pulte is not the only one who is raising some real questions and hurling criticism at Fed Chair Jerome Powell and how he's handled the Fed and also overseen these renovations to the headquarters. So what do you make of the calls for Fed Chair to be, frankly, to be fired, or the pressure campaign to maybe ask him to resign?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting. Obviously, Anna Paulina Luna's referring him to the DOJ revolves around his June 25th testimony, sworn testimony, by the way, in front of the Senate, in which he made some false claims about some of the renovation projects, which, by the way, $2.5 billion is just a massively staggering figure that I still can't get my head around when I know that the new Buffalo Bills stadium is $2.2 billion, and we're spending $2.5 billion on renovating the Federal Reserve. But he made some false statements in which he denied that there were some of these luxury features, like a VIP dining room, obviously premium marble, rooftop terrace, water fountains, all these things, which are directly contradicted by the plans given to the National Capital Planning Commission. He also made some statements and said there's never been a major renovation on this building. That's not true. There was one in 1999 through 2003. And then obviously there's some real questions about the letter that the exchange that he had with OMB Director Russ Vought, in which he, quite frankly, mischaracterized some of these renovations and the costs, which are now $600 million over costs. So I think there's some real questions. If you cannot manage a renovation project and are going 30% over cost, what are you actually doing in trying to manage our monetary policy? So I think there's real questions not only about his honesty, but about his efficacy as the chair.
Do the political analysis for us. You know, the president has been very hard, kind of day after day, on Jay Powell, and some would say the guy deserves it. Others would say
he does.
Don't spend your time on that. He's gone in May anyway. How do you read that, Ned? Is it smart to go after him? Should the president spend his time elsewhere?
I think a lot of his economic decisions trumps his plans and Bessent's. You know, they're trying to get it down much lower to save, I think it's $1 trillion. They want to get it down to 1%.
Right.
We'll see what happens. I don't have really high expectations with Powell doing that, but it'd save $1 trillion on our payments. And so there's a lot of things that I think Trump is thinking he's throwing a monkey wrench in my plans to really get this economy humming. And so the pressure campaign, I mean, I'm hearing reports that Powell is not outright rejecting anymore, resigning early. So I think this pressure campaign is going to continue because Trump is insistent that his economic plans move forward at light speed.
Ned, just to play, devil's advocate a little bit on that point, there are some folks that are kind of concerned about the opposite, that if we see Jerome Powell leave before his term is actually up, that would roil financial markets, that he's so close to the end of his term in May. We're hearing that from bank CEOs. Senator John Thune, majority leader, just said the Fed should be independent. Do you echo any of those concerns whatsoever?
I think the markets and these banks, they just want to know that there's an actual plan. They want consistency. They want to know that there are some guarantees that everything will move along smoothly. And Trump's not making, there's no mystery as to what Trump wants. Right. And I think if he puts a new chair in, I think people will realize, I mean, they lost their minds over the tariffs. That proved to be an overreaction. I think there might be some overreaction on this point as well. He gets a new Fed chair. I think the markets will calm down pretty quickly and move ahead.
Scott Bessent, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent made the point today that it's not just about Jay Powell, actually. We need to overhaul across the Federal Reserve System. And one stat that is cited often, but I still think is extraordinary, 92% of political donations from Fed staff in the last presidential cycle went to Democrats. So when you want to say you're independent, it's like you're not really independent if you're in the tank that far, Ned. What do you make of that?
Yeah, no, that's correct. I mean, there are a lot of people sitting in various departments and agencies inside of D.C. that's about right. 92 to 95% are going towards Democrats. I do not consider them independent. I consider them with a very serious political worldview on how they operate. I guess the other question I have, Brian, too, is what are the 20-some thousand employees of the Federal Reserve actually doing every day?
Yep.
I would argue it's one of those agencies that needs to actually be doged. And cut dramatically as well.
They got 400 plus PhD economists over there. You'd think with that much supposed economics brain power, you'd be able to navigate the inflation a little better. I don't know. Maybe they were the bottom of their class in their PhD programs, Ned. I don't know.
Probably.
We'll get to the bottom of that. Ned Ryun, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks, sir.